Welcome to the Explainer. Look, if you're completely tired of those standard, jargon-heavy press releases that just rattle off a million features you'll never use, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're skipping all that fluff. Instead, we're diving straight into 5 massive Google AI upgrades that were just rolled out, and more importantly, exactly how they solve 5 real, everyday frustrations that you are probably dealing with right now.
You know, there's a quote floating around right now that perfectly captures the current landscape. It goes, "Most AI updates are just hype, but what Google just shipped quietly changes everything." And honestly, that hits the nail on the head. We've gotten so used to AI updates just being about, bigger parameters or some abstract backend metric that doesn't actually help us get our work done. But these upgrades, they are completely different. These aren't just marginal little tweaks, they are practical workflow transformations that you can literally apply tomorrow morning.
All right, let's dive into problem number 1, fixing the speed problem and speeding up AI output.
So why on earth does AI still type out answers one single word at a time? I'm sure you've experienced this agonizing lag. You ask a complex question, and then you just sit there, staring at the screen, watching the cursor slowly blink and spit out the answer, one agonizing word at a time. It honestly feels like you're back on a 90s dial-up connection. But, that lag isn't your internet speed. It happens because the model under the hood literally has to reload massive amounts of information to generate every single word. It is an incredibly heavy lift.
Well, Google fundamentally fixed that bottleneck with something they're calling multi-token prediction drafters for the Gemma 4 family. Now, translating that into plain English, they basically just added a tiny, super fast helper model. Think of it like an eager assistant. This helper jumps ahead and predicts a whole chunk of words all at once, while the main, heavier model checks its work in parallel. If a little helper guessed right, boom, you get that entire block of text instantly instead of waiting for it word by agonizing word.
And the results here are absolutely staggering. We are talking about a 3 times speed increase. You're getting up to 3 times faster output with literally 0 drop in quality. Based on Google's own testing, it's running about 3 times faster on an NVIDIA RTX Pro 6000 and around 2.2 times faster on Apple Silicon when running batches. The wait time just evaporates. And the best part of the whole shebang, this is completely open source under Apache 2.0. That means any tool built on Gemma 4 automatically inherits this massive speed boost.
Moving right along to problem number 2, taming document clutter and organizing your research. Now, this is a headache that hits students, researchers, and honestly anyone trying to synthesize a mountain of information. You absolutely know the feeling. You're drowning in this confusing mess of 10 open browser tabs, a giant stack of PDFs, and a 2-hour video you still somehow need to watch. Enter NotebookLM's new upgrades. It doesn't just read your sources anymore. It now builds highly advanced visual mind maps of all your material. And here's the kicker. You can use custom prompts to tell the AI exactly how to build that map. Want to see your research as a chronological timeline? Just ask. Need it mapped out by cause and effect? Type it right in. You can also easily rename these maps to keep your projects organized, and the navigation for zooming and jumping between branches is incredibly smooth now. It quite literally turns the AI into a visually organized second brain.
Okay, problem number 3, curing AI hallucinations and building real trust in AI. Let's be real. The single biggest blocker for using AI professionally is the trust problem. It's when the AI confidently just makes things up entirely, which we call hallucinating. Well, Google is tackling this head-on with the Gemini API file search tool. And I want to give you a very quick step-by-step tutorial on how to set this up for hyper-accurate results using these new features. Step 1. Leverage multimodal support. You drop in documents with charts, graphs, diagrams, and the AI finally understands the whole picture, not just the raw text. But step 2, and listen closely because this is where the absolute magic happens, you must set up custom metadata tags. To get perfect results, you don't just dump files into the system anymore. Actually, scratch that. Never just dump files. When you upload, set up custom labels. Tag a file by its specific department, label it with a date, or assign a strict category. Then, when you run your search, you filter by those exact tags. This forces the AI to only pull from that highly relevant, restricted pool of data, completely cutting off its ability to guess or hallucinate. Finally, step 3. Rely on the new exact page-level citations. Every single answer will now link directly back to the exact page of the source document you uploaded. You click it, you verify it, and you trust it. Plus, setting up this API is basically free to use.
Next up, problem 4, ending the babysitting era and automating long tasks. If you have ever assigned an AI a massive task, like doing deep research across hundreds of pages, or generating long batches of video, you know you usually have to sit there and essentially babysit the thing.
In the old workflow, your code had to continuously pull the AI. It was literally like standing at a fast food counter, asking, "Is my order ready? How about now? Is my order ready?" every 30 seconds. It was awful. Now, Google has introduced Webhooks. With Webhooks, you just walk away. The AI simply pings you the exact moment the job is finished. It is exactly like getting a text message when your food is finally ready to pick up.
So stop babysitting. This opens up absolutely incredible background workflows. You can now kick off a massive, complex research task right before you go to bed. And while you are fast asleep, the AI does all the heavy lifting. You wake up to a completely finished, auto-saved report just waiting in your inbox. It acts way less like a clunky tool you have to manage and much more like a quiet teammate who just delivers results.
Finally, problem number 5, interactive TV learning and upgrading the big screen.
Okay, we have all experienced the dreaded passive couch scroll. You sit down, you flip through menus for an hour, and you end up watching absolutely nothing of value. Google TV is getting a massive injection of Gemini intelligence to fix exactly this. First off, we're getting richer visual answers right on the big screen. You ask a question, and you get full images, video clips, or recipe steps displayed beautifully on your TV. But for sure, the best feature here is the narrated, interactive deep dives. You can ask about a topic, and Gemini will build a custom narrated walkthrough right on the spot. It's almost like a personal documentary that actually responds to your follow-up questions. It's incredible for learning with your kids or exploring a topic before you commit to buying a book on it. You also get quick, narrated sports briefs to catch up on the leagues in just minutes. Oh, and here is a brilliantly practical detail. You can now just tell your TV, "Hey, the dialogue is too quiet," or "the screen is too dim," and Gemini automatically adjusts the actual hardware settings for you. No more digging through nested audio menus with a remote.
Let's move into our final section, Pro AI Best Practices and getting the most out of all these upgrades.
To wrap up this explainer, here are 3 crucial pro-level steps you really need to integrate into your workflow starting today to make sure you actually get sharp results from these tools. Step 1, when you're using NotebookLM, never ever just use the default mind map. Always type in a custom prompt to organize it exactly how your specific brain works. It makes the tool 10 times more useful. Step 2, upload way more sources than you think you need. The AI gets drastically smarter the more context you give it, assuming the sources are clean. And step 3, and I really cannot stress this enough, use citations every single time. When the AI gives you an answer, click the citation link and verify it. It takes maybe 3 seconds, but it completely separates the professionals who get phenomenal results from the people who eventually get burned by a hallucination.
And that brings us to the end. 5 real, everyday problems solved by 5 practical fixes that you can implement right away. From cutting down those brutal dial-up lag times and organizing your documents visually, to utilizing custom metadata for the perfect file search, and even turning your TV into a custom documentary generator. So my final challenge to you is simple. Which of these new workflows are you going to try tomorrow? Pick just one, apply it to your daily life, and see just how much it changes your productivity. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy learning.